We're going to start by talking about warmers, and I will share some ideas with you that you can use in your class. And let us start by saying that warmers are the type of activities that get students to talk and ready to learn. Basically, a warmer is an activity that gets your students into English mode. They will get attentive, interested in your class, and ready to participate. Now, a warmer is not necessarily related to the topic of your lesson. It can be basically any English activity to get your students ready for the class. Now, a warmer, of course, can also serve to review language from a previous lesson or prime the class for a new topic. However, this is not the main use of a warmer. Normally, as I said before, a warmer is an activity, to get your students ready for the class. Now that we know the concept of a warmer, I will be sharing some ideas with you, and I want to start talking about open class interviews. Normally, my recommendation for this can be for basic or intermediate students. It can also work for advanced classes. However, I think it is more beneficial for basic students, especially because when it comes to basic levels, what we have to focus on many of the times is to build confidence in our students. So basically the idea is this: you can find, or you can, I don't know, create or write 5 to 7 questions beforehand. You can prepare them and you have different options. You can write them on the board. You can have them ready on a slide like this, or like the one we're using right now. And basically the activity is all of the students have to answer all of these questions together. That is at the same time. Now remember, or think about this. If you nominated a student to participate and answer your questions, normally because they are nervous or maybe because we are just starting with the class, and if you put students in the spotlight, sometimes it is complicated for the students to participate. So as I said just a moment ago, the idea of this type of activities is for basic students to gain confidence. Now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to stand in front of the class and you're going to say, okay, guys, you are going to answer all of these questions at the same time. I want to listen to you all starting now. What is your name? And then everybody says, my name is blah, blah, blah. Where do you come from? Well, I am from Mexico City originally, but I live in Tehuacan. In this case, it says, why did you come to the Mestizo convention? But you can answer any question such as, why did you decide to learn English? Why did you decide to take the TKT preparation course? So on and so forth. What was your favorite subject in elementary school and why? What would you like to have for dinner tonight? What would you like to eat for breakfast tomorrow? It can be basically any question. Normally, I like to use these sentences or these questions to get students to talk, but also to elaborate on their answers depending on their level. Of course, if this were a basic class, I would probably just stick to this type of questions like, what is your name? What was your favorite subject in elementary school? And they would go for, I don't know, Spanish, English, physical education, chemistry, etc. But if I am working with higher levels, then I would definitely ask them to elaborate on their answers and tell me the reasons why, and tell me probably to describe their teachers, etc. So again, when you do interviews in open class, you're going to help your student or your students to feel more comfortable by speaking. All right, now it's the time, my friend, to work on the meaning of your name. Here I have an example of what my name means according to my own perspective. Now, you can use a dictionary, you can use Google, Cambridge Online, whatever works for you. And what you are to do is you will find and write down an appropriate adjective that begins with each letter of your first name, Patty. And we're going to do this. Of course, I'm going to give you probably 1 or 2 minutes to do so. And this is just an example. In my case, of course, because my name is Sergio, I'm going to say that I am Sergio. And my name means that I am sweet, elegant, responsible. I am great. Of course, I am innocent and optimistic. Please, my friend Patty, take 1 minute to do it, and we will check in a second. I
So,
don't worry, it's okay.
so I don't have idea in there because I say, okay,
Of
what
course,
else?
and especially because now I'm giving you like 30 seconds to do it. But of course, in class, you will be able to take maybe 1 or 2 minutes and maybe
Yeah,
you'll be working with those with no problem.
yeah, yeah, of course.
But basically, I mean, you get the idea. You have to make students figure out the meaning of their names by using adjectives. You can also use, I don't know, colors. You can use pieces of clothing, whatever you're working on or whatever you want them to use. Okay?
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Sure thing. Now, my friend, let us go with activity number 3. And this is something that we call the mixed up questions. And the idea here is that you are going to write a question on the board, but you will mix up the order. And then you will ask students to reconstruct the question and then discuss it in pairs or small groups. Normally, I would recommend or suggest that your warmers do not take more than 10 minutes. Let's say between 5 to 10 minutes to get started in your class. I would say 5 minutes is what like the average length of a warmer. But I mean, of course, it depends on the flow of the lesson and how your students are participating. So, my friend Patty, I would like to ask you, what is the question right now? I think the question should be what's oh, there you go. What's the most expensive item you have ever bought? All right, so this is the question. And once your students figure it out, what they have to do now is discuss it in pairs, in trios, in groups. And the intention is again, first thing, they have to sort out the question. And number two, they have to practice. And as simple as that, we are talking about a warmer. Now, we have a variation on mixed up questions. And now, of course, you write again a question on the board, but this time you will scramble the letters of each word. For instance, we have this other question. What do you think the complete or the correct question should be, my friend? This one is complicated. Of course it is. So the question right here goes like this. What is your earliest memory? This is the question. So again, as you can see, if we check this out, probably it is a more basic activity because the only thing they have to do right now is sort out the question, put it in order. In this one, they don't really have to put it in order, but now they have to rearrange the world and unscramble the letters to make it work. And in this case, the question is, what is your earliest memory? Once again, when your students finish sorting out the question, it is time for oral practice. Okay, now it is time for them to maybe talk to 2, 3, 4 different people about the question. And when you finish with that, you're done with your warmer. Okay? So now I'm going to give you another option of activities that can work as a warmer. And this is called a letter string dictation. Now, think of a couple of questions for your students to discuss in pairs or groups. Now, these questions have to be good for discussion. So you have to think about them beforehand, maybe have them ready, and you can do one of these two things. You can write the questions down, and then, of course, if you write it down, I prepared a question for you right here. If you write the questions down in your notebook, for example, in my case, I wrote this question. What's your favorite food? All right. These are just examples, the ones that I have right here. And this is what you do. You're going to dictate them with no spaces, and you will dictate them as a long string of letters, as in WHATWAYOURFAVORITECOLOR. Now, of course, this is okay or this is suitable for basic students because their ability to predict what's coming is probably lower than advanced students. So my recommendation is for A1, A2 students, you can still work with this type of questions. For example, what's your favorite color, or what did you do at the weekend? However, if you're working with B2 and C1 students, my recommendation is you have to do it like this. Same idea, same type of activity, but now you will be dictating the question backwards. Why? Because in this case, this type of high or advanced students, now they are able to predict what you're saying. So if you, for example, start with W, H, A, of course, they will know the question will be what's. Again, if you go for Y, O, U, they will say, what's your, and if you start with F, they will say, well, what's your favorite, right? But if you do it like this, my friend, and if you start like V, A, E, R, O, T, E, K, blah, 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 then we have a different question. So first thing they have to do is to copy what they hear. So like that, we are activating listening, but also writing. And then they will have to rearrange the question for what kind of books do you like to read? This is the question. What kind of books do you like to read? Once they sort it out, now it's time to do oral practice once more. Okay, so this is how letter string dictation works. And again, remember, we would be needing from 5 to 7 to 10 minutes, and that would be enough. Now, another easy activity that can work very well for both basic and advanced groups is name 10. As a matter of fact, I used this activity last weekend with my C1 students, and this is the idea. Have students think of 10 items that fit particular criteria. This is, of course, a very good way to activate vocabulary, and this is just an example. Okay, guys, you have, I don't know, 30 seconds to come up with 10 jobs where you have to wear a uniform. Now, you can, depending on how you want to work with this, you can have your students write it or take notes. You can have your students only speak, and that's it. All right, remember that normally a warmer activates your students, so it's very difficult that we use reading for a warmer because we want students to get ready to talk, to get ready to participate. So again, okay, you finished? Very good. Or give me ideas, guys. Name 10 Mexican soccer clubs, and they start by saying in open class and out loud. Okay, Puma, Chivas, America, León, whatever. Tell me, I don't know, animals that live in water. Well, jellyfish, whale, shark, dolphin, blah, 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 like that. And once you finish, again, you're done. Good? Now, my friend, this is my last recommendation or my last activity for a warmer. Now, this one can be difficult at the beginning, but once you show your students how to do it, they normally like it. And this is a very, very good way to work on vocabulary. So basically here you have to give an initial word. My example here is banana, and each student will take turns to say a word which they associate with the previous word. If the connection is not obvious, and if you think they're just saying any word, you can challenge your student to justify their choice. For example, if I start by saying banana, I'm gonna say, or I'm gonna, I don't know, nominate another student, banana. And then the other person says, well, I associate monkey with banana. So banana, monkey, and then the other person probably says zoo. But if the other person said, for example, monkey, and they associate tree, it's super valid. So here, basically, we don't have a wrong answer, but just sometimes they are not too obvious. And when they are not too obvious, we just have to tell them to explain the reason why they chose that word, and we can go on. This one, you can do it 1, 2, or 3 rounds, and they like it a lot because what I like to do is I sit down my students in a circle, and then we start saying the words. If they repeat or if they do not say anything in 5 seconds, then they have to leave the group, and it's like a small competition we start with. So to wrap it up, my friend, remember a warmer is an activity that will get your students ready to talk and participate in your class. It's basically, the idea here is to tell them, my friends, the English class is about to start. Please get ready and let's get to practice. Okay? Now, the difference, because warmer and leading is a very similar concept in terms of how the activities go, is this. A leading is how you lead in to the material you're planning to cover during your lesson. It is the way you use to engage your students in the topic and motivate them to participate in class. Again, very similar to a warm-up, because here again, you have to engage your students, you have to motivate them to participate, but check this out. Ideally, it is a chance to let your students get back into English mode. Imagine they are coming from their geography class or from mathematics. So they were in math class, or maybe you work in a language school and they didn't see you in the whole week, and today is Saturday, and these guys are going to start with the English class. So it is a good way to start. Why? Because they haven't used English in the whole week, or they were not using English in the previous class. So normally a lead-in will give you again the opportunity to get your students ready for the class. But the main difference between a warmer, which is any activity or any English activity, and a lead-in is that the lead-in is normally an activity that has to do with your class. A lead-in has connection with your class. Normally, I like to think about lead-ins as pre-stages. Huge recommendation here. When we talk about reading and listening, we had productive skills and receptive skills. When we are working on receptive skills, it is always a very, very good idea to connect a previous activity to the reading or to the listening exercise. Why? Because normally, imagine the situation. Imagine you enter your class, the teacher tells you like, hey, good morning, everyone. Well, we're going to start right now with the class and get ready to learn the present perfect. This is really not an effective way to start with a class. Of course, we all have done it. Of course, sometimes we all improvise in our classes. But even when improvising, it is a very good idea to think about a lead-in. So again, and to clear this out, when we talk about a warmer, we talk about any English activity to get our students ready to participate. When we talk about a lead-in, we talk about an activity that has a connection with the topic of the class. It can be vocabulary, it can be grammar, it can be anything you're going to be working with, all right? And in order to do so, I'm going to share with you 3 ideas that you can use in your lessons as lead-ins. Before we move on, I would like to ask you, my friend Patty, if you have any question or we are free to continue. Just let me know.
Yes, teacher, I understand. So the leadings is like an introduction, right? The class. So before the give or the start the topic, so you before you say vocabulary or something like that.
Yes, of course. The idea of this is that, for example, and I will elaborate on this in a moment, but for example, if you're talking about, or if you are going to talk about the present perfect, if you're going to do that, you can say, okay, guys, good morning. Let's call attendance. Panchito, Pepe, Ramon, yeah, present, very good. Okay, present perfect. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're just going straight to the class. So my recommendation here is let's do one additional step before in order to make the transition smoother, like easier. And this is what we're going to do. For example, showing pictures is a very, very good idea. Imagine you're working on pieces of clothing. Imagine you're working on adjectives, on descriptions, etc. Normally, I like my students to describe pictures for around 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 2 minutes, depending on their level. But for example, I'm going to tell you this. It says, show your students a picture and ask them to make predictions and observations about it. So for example, I'm going to tell you like, please describe everything you see in the picture. Decide a name for this piece of art. Tell me everything you can see and describe it as if I wasn't able to see. All right, I'm gonna give you, I don't know, let's start with 30 seconds. Please go ahead.
So I have to describe this picture.
Yeah, sure.
I think he's a famous painter. So, but I don't have idea. But I don't understand why the woman behind the man is cry or something like that.
Okay. So we have a woman crying. How are they
Crying.
faces? How do they look?
Yeah, they look sad.
Okay, is it a new, a modern house?
Yeah, the house is. Yeah, maybe it's in the morning or something like that because
Okay.
they have it on the table. They have a bread or coffee, tea or something.
Are they all from the family? Do they have servants
Yeah,
around?
I think they are couple or something. The marriage,
Okay.
the woman and the man, they wearing black dress.
Okay.
Um,
What can you
I
see
don't
on
know.
the table?
Yeah, no, on the table I can see the flowers on the bread and uh, cup, coffee cup.
Okay.
Um,
What do you think the name of the picture is? If you had to name it, what would that be?
hmm, no, maybe. Uh, I think it's like uh, a sad day or something. No, somebody
Okay.
died. I
Exactly.
think so.
So every time I show this picture, people say, I think somebody died. I think somebody got sick. I think somebody's moving. I mean, many things can be described. And this is basically the idea.
Okay.
We have to make our students make predictions. They get interested, and maybe the topic of your class is going to be pieces of clothing. And they are going to describe later on in the class, they are going to describe what these people are wearing. Maybe you're going to talk about physical features, and then they have to describe by using adjectives what they can see about these people, right?
Okay. So this picture is improve your English and everybody speak or something like that. No.
Yeah, I mean, you have to create groups or couples and then tell them, like, discuss the picture, but don't stop talking until I tell you to stop, and do it for 1 minute. And then you encourage your students and keep telling them, hey, go on, continue. What can you see? How many people are there? Are they young or old? And then you help them by giving them chunks of the language in order for them to speak. And just a final thingy, I would like to say or mention that the name of this picture is, I'm gonna write it down right here, the farewell. So the goodbye. That's
Quiz.
why, yeah,
The farewell.
exactly.
Okay.
All right. So now, my
Okay.
friend Patty, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but now with this second picture. Tell me what you can see.
Oh, looks like a Van Gogh. So
Okay.
I think it's a raining day,
Okay.
and this one is a couple, or I don't know. Is that two
Okay.
women, and a lot of tree. Maybe it's in the park.
Okay. What time of
Mm,
day is it?
I think they are. I think it's evening or
Okay.
night or night. I think it's a night because the light, right?
Okay. Do you think
Yeah,
what is
they
the
are.
weather like?
I think it's raining.
It's rainy. And what
Yeah.
type of clothes are they wearing?
Oh, they close winter clothes or
Okay.
maybe they have a suitcase, right?
I
Maybe
think
travel.
so.
Yeah, maybe they are travel and they are walking in the park or something
Okay.
like that. So and many trees, right?
Is the place scary? Is it a place where you would like to go?
It's scary. I don't think so. I think it's good. I think it's cold, very cold down.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe maybe they will be the taxi or something.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
perfect. Again,
that's
here, my
perfect.
friend Patty, we don't have a wrong answer because it's only about and mainly about predictions. So again, maybe you will be doing after this description of 2 minutes, maybe you will be working on a listening track, which has to do with some friends walking in the park, or maybe about the weather. You will be discussing what is the weather like. and this can be a perfect introduction, for that topic. Are we fine?
Yes, perfect. I like this activity.
Nice. Now let's go with this next activity. This is another lead-in. Remember, a lead-in has a connection with the class. And there is one reading lesson that I teach in which we have an article about local things or fun local things you can do in Cancun. For the lead-in, I usually write 5 things on the board that people might do when visiting a new city. So for starters, I write traveling to Cancun, and then I put visit the famous sites, try the local food, go to museums, take pictures of interesting things, and go shopping. I make teams and tell them like, okay, the 3 of you will be working together, the 3 of you, or 1 to 3, whatever. You make your couples. And I tell them, okay, my friends, I'm going to give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes, as long as you want, my friend Patty. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to decide which activity you will do first, which one you will do second, third, fourth, and fifth. Tell me which things you're going to do, but the order, and then you let them work. In this type of activity, they have to negotiate, they have to agree, they have to disagree, and then whenever they are ready, I would tell them like, you ready, guys? Yes, very good. Now you guys are going to stand up and you're going to ask each other, or you're going to talk to a person from a different group, and you're going to be telling them what you decided. And then again, because it is very probable that the other team had a different answer, they will start renegotiating the importance of, for example, trying the local food or going to the museums or visiting the famous sites. Which one is more important according to them? So in order to demonstrate this activity, my friend Patty, and having these 5 activities, I would like to ask you, which activity would you start with?
Okay. So first of all, I think I will go try to local food.
Okay, what would be second?
And the second, I will visit the famous sites.
Okay.
And the third, I would like take pictures of interesting things.
Okay.
The third, fourth, or 5? No, 4. Yeah,
No,
okay.
4, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I will go to shopping, and the last one I think I think the fourth day I will go to the museum, and the last one I will go to the shopping.
Wow, that's interesting, because as a matter of fact, normally when I make these questions, normally people, and especially, I'm sorry if I am being, I don't know, rude, or if I am saying something wrong, but normally my students prefer to go shopping. They say like, okay, go shopping first.
Oh,
And then
really?
the rest of the things, yes.
No, I think the most important is the local food.
I am with you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So because almost when you travel, you're very hungry, and then okay, I want to try to the local food or something like that.
Definitely, yes. So now, my friend, again, this can be a very good opportunity to get your students to talk, to start negotiating, and to get them ready. In my case, I use this activity for this specific reading lesson, but this is basically the idea. If you are going to work on a listening that has to do maybe with visiting your friends, or how to, I don't know, of deciding what type of present you're going to get for your birthday, for your friend's birthday, I mean, here the sky is the limit, right? And I would like to show you now this activity number 3, which is quotes or questions. In my elementary book unit number 9, I have a unit named money. And I always like to start by asking these questions. Hey, which do you enjoy more? Earning money or spending money? My friend Patty, what would you say?
Of course, spending money.
Yeah.
I am woman.
I have to agree. I prefer to spend money because normally earning money means that you have to work. So it's not that I hate my job,
Yes, of
but I
course.
prefer to spend the money. So again, we can start by showing only one question, but the question has to generate, some interesting discussion. All right, you have to put two very different scenarios in which people have to be asking each other, like, well, I prefer to earn money because blah, 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 and this and that. Because earning money is more important than spending money, because if you spend money all the time, then you waste it and you end up with no money. Yeah, but of course it's spending blah. And then people get to talk and to talk and to talk. So this is a very good idea to start your class. And of course, you would have to find a correct topic for your lesson. Now, another way to do this can be maybe working with some quotes. For example, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. What do you think about this phrase, about this expression, my friend Patty? What do you think it means?
So the small things is very important or something?
Yeah, like sometimes when we help, it doesn't matter if we help with a huge thing or with a small thing. As long as we help, it is always appreciated. No, probably that's what it means, or at least that is why I understand.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think so is that.
All right. So now, my friend Patty, I would like to ask you if we have any question between lead-ins and warm-ups.
Okay. The warm-ups is like an activity for the participate students.
Yeah,
And the lead-ins is the connection in the class.
exactly. Okay, now the last thing we have to work with, my friend, is the word icebreakers. Do you have any clue, any idea?
Like romper el hielo.
Basically, yes. So the main difference, my friend Patty, between warmers, lead-ins, and icebreakers is the reason why you do it.
Yeah, this
All
is yeah.
activities, and they are all English activities or language-related activities. The difference, again, is a warmer can be any. A lead-in is connected to your lesson, and an icebreaker helps you connect the members of a group together by leaving space for a smooth flow of the lesson. That is, we will do it with new groups, basically with a new group of people. For example, in our case here at HANAC, we change groups every 15 days. That means that every 15 days, I have a different group of people that I have to work with. They are the same level. I mean, they are different levels, but the same students that we have, but teachers take care of them only for 15 days. And then another teacher comes, and then another, and the other, and the other, and like that. So an icebreaker is a very good idea in different situations. For example, if you don't know a group, or if this is a first class, it is a good, very perfect idea to start with an icebreaker, because this way you will calm the nerves of your students. You will make them open up to new ideas. You will give them an opportunity to be heard, but also you will demonstrate your personality and how the classes will be. So every single time you have a new group of people, you should, I mean, this just of course a recommendation, you should work on an icebreaker, something that allows them maybe to talk, to get to know each other, to start exchanging some ideas. And of course, I have some ideas, my friend, that you can do for icebreakers. And the first one is an activity that I really, really love. My students really love it too. And it is something that I call, or that we call the people, I mean, I did not invent it, but the name is this your shoe? Of course, you, because you are the teacher, you have to set the example. You have to come up front and tell them, okay, guys, welcome. My name is Teacher Sergio, and I am very happy to get to know you. The first thing I'm going to do today is take off one shoe. And like that, you take off your shoe and put it in front of the class. And then you have to tell your students to come up front and leave their shoes, one shoe only. Of course, if you know you're going to be doing this activity, please make sure that you're wearing new socks and then they don't have a hole right there. So it's not, embarrassing.
Yeah, yes, of course.
So after you do so, my only recommendation, if you work at a school where students wear a uniform and they have to wear the same shoes, never do it because they get lost. Trust me on this one. But if they have different shoes, it's a very, very nice activity. So you bring the shoes to the front and then you ask half the group, guys, take one shoe that does not belong to you, find the owner, and talk with that person for 2 minutes. About what? About anything you want. And then they have a shoe, they look for the owner and they say like, hey, is this your shoe? Oh, yes, it is, or no, it isn't. Oh, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, is this your shoe? Yes, here it is. Now, so what's your name? What are you from? What are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. It is a perfect opportunity to get students to get to know each other and to get students to talk, all right? And
Yes.
when you finish with this, you're going to tell the other half of the classroom to find the owner of the shoes that you have remaining on the floor. You tell them like, okay, now the other half, go take a shoe, find the owner, and talk for 2 minutes. And I promise your students will have a lot of fun. The next one, my friend, is a version or a different version of rock, paper, scissors. And I have to explain this one because, of course, and again, because you are the teacher, you will demonstrate first. First thing, you have to set the rules and decide if you're going to do it in a, like maybe just 2 out of 3, like as always, like 2 de 3, right? And you have to play rock, paper, scissors. But the intention of this game is for you to get as many followers as you can. So how are you going to get those followers? Well, first thing is you're going to come up front, you're going to call one student and tell them, we're going to fight, or we're going to see who wins. Okay, we're going to play rock, paper, scissors, rock, paper, scissors. And if you put scissors, and if the other student puts paper, then you win. And now this person will go behind you. And this person will be your follower. He or she will be your fan. So what does a fan normally do? Root for their personality, right? And they're going to be rooting for you. And they're going to be like, Patty, Patty. And then you go with another person, rock, paper, scissors. But at the same time, other people will be playing and having a group of fans in the back. So at the end, you will end up with 2 very long groups of people rooting for each other. And the good thing about this is that you can get to know the student's name because they always ask it, hey, what's your name? Pepe. Okay, Pepe, Pepe. What's your name? Sergio, Sergio, and like that. So at the end, you see who the winner is. This one, again, is a lot of fun, and it can get very noisy. So be careful where you work on with this activity because things get a little bit crazy, but like crazy good. Okay?
So sorry, teacher, I didn't understand very well. So every two people play the rock paper scissors, but behind this person they have a group and they come on, you can go or something like that.
Exactly.
So this reason the people in front of, and they are saying, oh, okay, I have to do good or something.
Exactly. You have to win. Imagine you're facing
Okay.
this versus this. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this person wins. Now, because he lost, he becomes
Yes.
a fan. And this guy is here. No? This person is like, Patty, Patty. And they look for this. Like, rock, paper, scissors. And this person wins. Now, these 2 lost. And they go right here. And it's becoming like every time they play, a larger group is
Okay. When
forming.
the people lost and one person is another team. chasing
Exactly.
another
They
team.
lose. They
They
become
lose and they
fans
come down.
of the winner.
On the winner. Ah, I got it. Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was right all the time. Okay, very good.
And at the end,
But I think it's very noisy, this game.
super noisy, but a lot of fun, I promise. At
Yes,
the end,
yes.
we'll always have like this. Oh, sorry about that. But at the end, imagine this, you're going to end up with a huge group right here and another group right here, like rock, paper, scissors, and whoever wins gets the followers.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Very good.
Yes.
Now, another very nice activity, my friend, is the marshmallow challenge. Again, I did not invent this. There are many web pages where you can find this information about how to proceed with the marshmallow challenge. And again, it's very interesting to see how students try to come up with ideas and then they start sharing the other, like, or sharing with the other, like, no, we should do it this way or the other, and like that. Normally, this is what you need. You need spaghetti or you need pasta. Of course, new pasta. Don't bring your cooked spaghetti. You will need tape. You can give them a little bit. I normally do not use this, the rope, and a marshmallow. So what they have to do is they have to build the tallest freestanding structure. So they have to decide if they put the spaghetti or the pasta like this, or if they put it like that, whatever. But the marshmallow goes on top. And when they finish, they should be able to let go, and the structure should remain standing. Okay, if it falls, they lose. So again, this is a very good idea, and this is a very good activity in order to have them participate, exchange ideas, negotiate, help each other. And it's always really, really nice to see how they organize themselves in order to make very, very tall, or I was going to say high, but very high buildings with this. Any question
Okay.
about this?
Yeah, so they are building the like structure,
Yeah, like a
structure,
tower.
like a tower or something like that. So and then the winner, is the more taller, of course, no?
Yes, of course, but especially the ones that do not fall, because sometimes they are very tall, but when they let go, they fall. So you have to make sure that it's a
Ah, okay, okay. It's
freestanding
no
structure.
follow.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Ah, okay, of course.
I was looking for a picture right here because I definitely did it. I'm gonna show you how my students performed these activities, and this what I'm showing you right now, or what I want to show you.
And they can use tape.
Yes, they definitely can use tape. Look, this is one of the pictures for the, is this your shoe? Right? If you see,
Ah, this is the okay, okay, it's again the shoes.
yes. And look at them. They are working without their shoes. They have another person's shoes in their hands. And here they have the pasta. They have the spaghetti. They are starting to create their towers. And this is how they do it. Look, they organize themselves in order to create their tower. So yes, look, they're building. Look,
Okay, okay, I got it.
yeah. So this is how it
Yeah.
goes. And this is the end. For example, these guys, this is as tall as they could do.
So funny, yeah.
Exactly. So it's a really good activity. For example, these guys worked on a larger and much higher structure. And basically that's the idea. And the final activity,
So
yeah, sorry, my friend. Sorry.
no, sorry. No. Just I asked about the ice breaks. Is to connect the members in a group?
Exactly. Basically
Okay.
to get them to know each other.
Yes. O sea, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yes, an icebreaker is, unfortunately, in my opinion, these are the most fun activities, but you don't do them very often because you need to do it with a group of students that don't know each other, or when you are the new person in the group. But of course, this can only happen a few times during the school year. Now, the last thing we're gonna do, my friend
Yeah.
Patty, is work on this. This is something we call a social media tour. And what we have to do right here is take a minute to scroll through your Instagram or Facebook. You will select one photo or one picture and explain 3 different people why you chose that picture. For example, you can have your students to open their Instagram, which they love, by the way. And for example, I'm going to show you one picture from my Instagram account. It's my children. And then I would tell you like, well, this picture is really important to me because I took it a few months ago when my kids were deciding where they wanted to have dinner. It was a very intense night because it was raining and they had been fighting all day, but I made them ask each other where they want to have dinner, blah, 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 blah. So this is a really cool way to have
Okay. But
talk about themselves.
sorry, but this picture is by themselves, or no, it's no
Yes,
famous person. It's like okay, I like this picture because like you explained before.
exactly. So you will open with your cell phone your Instagram account and everybody in the room will do the same. So they find a picture they like and you tell them like, okay, select one picture in your or on your Instagram or Facebook that you love. Okay, I have it. Very good. Now tell 3 different people why you like this picture. What were you doing that day? Where did you go? Who did you go with? What did you do at the end of the day? All the details that you can remember about that day.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So you can practice the simple past or past perfect
Of course.
or something structure.
Yes,
Yeah. Of only vocabulary or something like that.
that is right. That's
Yes,
exactly
of
why. And
course.
it depends on the level. If you have basic students, you will be working on basic structures. But if you have more advanced students,
Yes,
of course, you would be reinforcing these advanced topics.
like telling a story, right?
Of course.
Yeah, they can tell in a story that one picture is a little bit more advanced the students, and the beginner is of course more simple.
Yes. Sometimes when I do this, I like to tell my students like, okay, please, when you finish, try to make groups of 3 people. And once they are working on 3 people teams, I tell them like, okay, now with the pictures that you have, please create a story. And now I make them work and they blah, blah, blah. They are writing, they are again, rethinking everything. And it's again, a very good way to get students to be creative.
These kind of activities, you have more in the book in the TKT course or no?
Actually, my friend, this is a huge coincidence because the topic that I shared with you today is warmers leading, well, presentation techniques. But part of the presentation
Okay,
techniques that
okay.
we have to be, this is really not a material for TKT. I mean, as you can see, it says
Yes,
International
sure.
Mestizo
Is the
Convention.
mixto? Yeah, it's
Yes.
another.
But I mean, the topic is the same. I just wanted to use this material in order to explain in a better way what are lead-ins, icebreakers, and warm-ups.
Yeah,
But
of
I do
course.
have more material that I can share with you, definitely. So don't worry, I can share some
Okay.
activities.
Yeah, thank you so much.